So go a little something like this. That AVIOT.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Jay Stokes, your gracious co-host, joined by my other gracious co-host, Jay Random. What's up, Jay?
Yo, what's up, man? How you doing?
Listen. Yeah, the first thing that happened was I realized that our intro wasn't going on. It's supposed to automatically play, but I was playing around with some knobs before the show because I have some other things I want to play on here. And yeah, that's what messed up. So I got to figure that out for the next show. Anyways, for those of you out here tuning, yeah, I know. For those of you out here or out there tuning in, this is Atypical Voices in Our Time, aka AVIOT, the official podcast of Chemistry Productions. That's spelled K3MISTRY, a media education company that focuses mostly on youth, but we just want to educate everybody out there about media. And this podcast right here, we go in depth about the different media stories hitting the airwaves. So before we get into that, how was your day, Jay Random?
My day was cool, no complaints. Just glad it's over. I'm glad we're doing this radio show because this radio show to me, besides being hump day, it allows me to, it reminds me that, hey, 2 more days and no more work. So,
I understand that.
I love hump day, and I love when we do our radio show at night because I'm like, yes, 2 more days and it's over. And then we wake up on Monday and at it again.
Well, one of these days, this will take off, and then we don't have to worry about answering to the man. We're going to be the man. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So today's episode is titled, So What's the Verdict? And we're going to be focusing mostly on the election that just happened yesterday. There was a big election in the U.S. in which we saw the Democratic control of the House of Representatives, and we saw the Republican Party maintain the Senate. And the first thing that came to mind with me was, what does this actually mean? Like, does this change anything? Can anything really change? So I did some digging, and I was looking at what is more important, the House or the Senate. Some people were saying that the Senate was more important than the House, but this is how things happen. In the House of Representatives, they draft up a bill or legislation, and they vote on that. And after that, they pass it to the Senate. And then the Senate has to vote on it. After the Senate votes on it, then the president signs off. So pretty much, it's a waste. So it's a waste of time. Okay, so the Democrats, they took the House, but what does that mean? So they can try and pressure President Trump. They can try and develop laws and pass it through. But if ultimately the Senate is controlled or the majority of the Senate is Republican, they're just going to turn it down. So it's just like, okay, so we're pretty much at square one again.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. The only difference is that now the Democrats actually have a voice, but the difference between them having a voice yesterday and them having a voice today is that basically they could say, hey, listen, this is what we want to do, and then it gets turned down. Before it was they couldn't even say anything, meaning they can actually go to the media and be like, we want to see your taxes, but that's as far it would go. It would go as far as the media. We want to see his taxes. Now they can actually say we want to see his taxes and subpoena, or not subpoena, but basically not make it a law, but they can actually do more, saying as far as we want to see his taxes.
The president's taxes. The president's taxes, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
President's taxes.
Some people aren't very educated out there, so we just got to keep them up to date.
Right. And maybe those who didn't vote, who don't know what the hell I'm talking about when I say taxes. But in so many ways now they can actually not put it in law, but they can actually move it forward as saying they want to see his taxes, and then the Senate would turn it down. Then it would be more on the Republicans as far as sheltering or shielding the president. Before it was more like they didn't, they couldn't do anything. Now they can actually start the process, but we all know the process will still get turned down. But at least now they can start it. Before they can only verbalize it. So if you think, so if you take a look, so if you think about it, it's more like now it's different. It's different. It's like a just think about it like this. like a dream and a reality. You know, like as far as with them, before they had the power, they could only dream about it. Now they can actually make it into reality and say, listen, this is what we want to do. And as soon as it gets turned down, they can now go back to the media and be like, this is what we wanted to do, this is what we did, and this is what they did. So they have more, so they can actually put more pressure on the Senate.
Oh, and then when the next election comes around, then they could be like, well, you see, we tried to do these things, but the Senate kept turning it down.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now it's documented. You know?
Oh,
before,
okay. I see.
You know, yeah, exactly. So before they were more like saying this is what we wanted to do, but they didn't have the power to do it. It basically fell on deaf ears. Now they actually have the power to do it, and they're hoping that it get turned down. So when it get turned down, then come 2020, they'd be like, remember, we tried to get his taxes. Couldn't get it. Why?
Oh, okay.
They come in,
so
basically.
They're playing the long game. They're playing the long game.
The long
right
game.
now.
Yeah. Yes.
Gotcha.
That's all they're doing. They're playing the long game because they know at the end of the day, anything they move forward to try to that goes against the president is going to get shut down. But now it's documented. So,
okay. For people, you think it's a win? Okay.
I think it's a win. I think it's a win.
There...
You know why? Real quick. Sorry.
What's up?
Also, I want to say I think it's a win because.
Number, bro. I'm just trying to get out the number. That's all.
Cool. Give the number and then I'll tell you why.
All right. So definitely call in. The number to call in is 646-668-8398. Call in as a guest and weigh in on this conversation. All right. Keep going, Jay.
Yeah. Last but not least, if you think about it, so the Senate is the one that's Republican driven, right? It has more Republicans than Democrats.
Majority. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm sorry, majority. I think it's 45 Democrats and, well, let's do the math. So it's 55 Republicans. So I think before, I say this all to say, I think once again, it's better to be in the House than the Senate because the Senate is the one that turned it down. So imagine if the Democrats were in the Senate. They can't enforce a law. They can't enforce a rule. They can only turn it down. So they're more. So I think the Senate is more sitting on their hands, just waiting for stuff to come through. It's the House that actually comes up with the taxes, because they can actually do a lot with the taxes too. The Democrats. So we'll see how it works out because everyone's looking. Everyone is looking. So, but believe me, I think it's a win because we flipped the House, and they said this is the first time we flipped the House in 8 years. So, hey, it's a win. Someone's listening. I don't know who, but
so for those of you who are Democrats, this is definitely a win for y'all, and this is definitely in your corner. And obviously, you're playing the long game with the president. Another thing that happened, so I definitely want to take back my statement before in terms of it means nothing. Based off of the information you gave me, look, you just educated me on the radio, so or on the podcast, rather. But another thing that happened was there were a total of 110 female winners in this election. This was a record number of women elected to Congress, and some key women that actually won. There was the first Muslim American woman that was elected into Congress, and her name is I think Ilhan Omar, and she's a Minnesota Democrat. And then we had 42 non-white women were I said of the 98 female winners in the lower chamber, 42 were non-white women. So we had a lot of new things that happened within this election. We had the Democrats take the House, and we have a record number of women being elected into Congress. So that definitely is I wish I had the applause button. That's one thing I got to add, the applause button. But anyways, that definitely is a win for women in America, and we are very happy to see the progress that women are making and the strides they're making towards being seen as equal. And being treated equal as well. So that definitely deserves a clap. Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly.
So, with all that being said, though, Random, did you actually vote?
Oh, yes, man. What? Man, listen, That's one thing I don't play with voting. Okay, I take that back. I did vote only time because to be honest with you, last year my wife voted, and I was like, wait, there's an election going on, so it wasn't like the presidential election. So let's be honest, I'm like that guy that only goes to church for Easter.
On Easter.
On Easter. So basically, it's not the presidential election. Normally, I don't vote. I'm not even gonna lie, but this time around, I had to. Because once again, we should always vote, but sometimes I just forget. I just really do. I never forget the. Hey, I'm being honest. I know I'm very terrible. I never forget the presidential election. But I'm. You know what? But seriously, all to the side, I'm more on this. Vote for my district. Vote for
the local election. In
the local election, because that affects me more than the presidential election. Now, I still vote for the presidential election, but local, it impacts us more. So that's why this time around and going forward, all locals, I'm in there. I would definitely vote. So yes, I voted. It was kind of weird. I voted yesterday. I went to the school, and I went there around like 7:35, 7:40, and there's probably like 4 people there. So I was like, dang, okay. People must have checked the news because it's supposed to rain around 10, 11. What happened? So yeah, exactly. So I did mine around 7:40 before I went to work. But then I also was like, hey, listen, of course, I could actually come to work late today. As long as I got my sticker say I voted, but my job doesn't care.
There's your excuse. Right there. I voted.
My job
doesn't
care. Yeah, my job doesn't care. As long as I don't roll up in there around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, then they don't care. But yes, so I voted. Once again, I'm glad I voted. I needed to vote. I stressed to my kids how important voting is, and so did you vote?
Yes, I did. I did vote, and the reason why I asked is because this is definitely leading into another topic of discussion. Before we get into this, we both want to know, for those of you listening, did you vote? The number to call is 646-668-8398. Definitely tell us about the voting process for you and whether or not you voted. But yeah, I did vote. I vote based off of. I don't necessarily think it's my civic duty to vote. No, I don't go based off that. I do it based off respect, because as a black individual, I realize the pain and the effort that my forefathers, my foremothers, they went through in order to allow me to have the right to vote, because they believed in the system. They believed that voting would be a way for them to get their voices heard. And I want to honor them, and I want to make sure I am doing that always. And I feel that it's a way for me to contribute to the process. I mean, we live in the United States, we live in America, and I might as well. I know there's a lot of crazy things that happen. There's a lot of tragedy. There's a lot of terrible people in America, but at the end of the day, I'm an American citizen, so I might as well. With that being said, though, there are a lot of people out there that don't believe voting is necessary, especially within the black community, because they feel that their voices aren't heard, and they feel that they always get false promises. One thing I will say is that when these candidates for election, whether it's Congress, whether it's for their local districts or what have you, when they want to vote, they end up showing up in these districts all of a sudden, and they, like some of them, they've never shown their face in certain communities until they want the vote, until they want the money raised. And that I have a big problem with. I just want to get your thoughts on that before I continue.
Cool. Glad you asked me. So I agree with you, and I do not like that. Matter of fact, that's why I did not vote for Bridgeport mayor who wanted to be governor. Because
really?
Yeah. But this is but Ned Lamont is who I voted for. Sorry, spoiler alert. But but Bridgeport mayor, he actually tried to run for governor. I guess not the runoff, but I forgot jump in by any time. When it's the Democrats, when they face off, and then whoever wins that a particular debate. Then we have a Democrat and a Republican. I forgot that actual stage of the game. But so he went against Ned Lamont. Matter of fact, he didn't even get to go against Ned Lamont. He lost. Probably ran out of money. But also, I didn't vote for him because the Bridgeport mayor, I don't trust him. And he's not even doing anything good for Bridgeport, I think. So, I mean, why give someone that can't handle Bridgeport more power? So, and also, like I said again, you only see him when it's time to actually run. Besides that, you don't see him. You don't see him. I basically do not see him. So, yeah, I have a problem with that. But what do we do? Because at the end of the day, they can always say that they're working. That's why they don't have time to show they. Because technically, they're doing something. I mean, so they, a lot of time they're in Washington, so they can't always be in our face. So I don't take too much offense to it, but I know definitely when it came to Bridgeport mayor trying to run for governor, I was not voting for him because I believe he has not and still isn't doing anything for Bridgeport. Taxes are still high, and the list goes on. So, why? What do you feel? What do you think?
Well, I see he still won. He beat Bob Stefanowski. I'm looking at his results right now. Ned Lamont. No. Yeah, no. I know. I voted for Ned Lamont. I wanted Ned Lamont. I didn't want Bridgeport mayor to become governor. Oh, sorry.
And his name is yeah. Bridgeport mayor. I forgot his name. Gannon. No, I didn't want Gannon. Oh, and also,
sorry.
No, I just didn't want Gannon. Bridgeport. Yeah, I didn't want Gannon, which is the Bridgeport mayor, to be governor. So if he even got past Ned Lamont, I was not going to fudge. I was going to say I wasn't going to vote for him, but I'm definitely not voting for a Republican. So I don't know how that would work. So thank God that scenario didn't come through because I'm like, fudge. Wait a minute. That's your thing.
Yeah. So basically, I understand them being in these positions. I don't want to say high positions. In these positions where they're making laws and they're voting on laws, they obviously can't be in the public space all the time. But at least make an effort. If you're supposed to be for the people, I need to see you. I need to see you. Like, I need you to see you, community. I need to see you talking to some people. The people that you're passing laws for, you should at least put a face to the legislation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
no, I agree. But you see them? You know when you see them? Holidays, Thanksgiving parade, the Christmas parade, July, Christopher Columbus Day.
That is so cliche. That is so cliche.
But think about it. Though. You only see them. But think about it. You only see them on holidays. If it's a parade, they're there. So, to be honest with you, I vote for you, but that's listen. I feel like I understand what you're saying.
You know what I gotta say to that? You know what I gotta say to that?
What's up?
You know what I gotta say to that? This is what I gotta say. It's a bunch of baloney.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought the person was dying. I was about to say, hey, call 911.
I'm testing out these new buttons that we got for the show. So if you see me playing some random stuff, that's why. I'm turning into you right now.
Random.
For real. But yeah, that's how I feel towards that. But and going back to my previous comment about because I have to focus on the Black community for this one right here, because it seems that whenever I see people running, it's always with the Black community. It's always, oh well, if we pass this legislation for everybody, then you will get something out of it. But if you look in research, you look in different studies, you see that Black people are always at the bottom of the totem pole in every area of society. And people could throw in the Hispanic community, but they forget that Hispanic is not a race. Hispanic is an ethnicity. So Hispanic encompasses different races. So you can have a Black Hispanic or a Black Latino, Latina, a white Hispanic, a white Latino, Latina. So that's why that even those numbers are a little off. But you will see when people run they'll specifically say we're going to make legislation for the LGBTQIA plus community. We'll make legislation for the Hispanic community. We'll make legislation for women, but they never say we're going to make legislation for the black community. You see, this community is struggling the most, right? So it's like, why can't you try and address these problems? Why are you focused on helping everybody else but the community that is struggling the most, or the community that always ends up at the bottom of the totem pole? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I agree with everything you said, man. You know, for the first time, nope. You hit the nail on the coffin. You did. What happened? What? Normally I have something else to say? What? I just can't agree with you?
Yeah. You always disagree with me.
Hey, come on, listen. You didn't go far left. You didn't go far left with it, so it's like, okay.
I do like the other episode. We had to do the follow-up episode. I was like, I'm sorry.
Oh, exactly. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry. I had a bad day at work.
Yeah, for people who are listening out there, we did an episode like way back, like I don't know what episode number that was. That was like episode like 12 or something like that. I forgot. But
yeah,
I went on a tangent, and I was very upset because of pedophilia. Watch the episode. I'll look up the episode, and then I'll give it to them, and then they can do what they will with that. But
yes.
With that being said, yeah, I do. With people that choose not to vote, I'm not going to chastise them, and I'm not going to look down upon them because, for example, but the episode was episode 12. It's called Heavy Hitters. Excuse me. So for people out there who want to know why Jay Random and I were laughing about me apologizing on air, just go to episode 12, Heavy Hitters, and then you'll understand. But I don't want to chastise people that didn't vote, because I understand why people may have a hang-up about it. Because if they feel like their community is not being spoken to, or that their issues aren't being addressed, then they might say, well, what's the point? So
okay, wait. No, okay. So I agree with everything you said, but I just want to throw my 2 cents in. So this is my problem with people who don't want to vote. I feel like this, okay? If you don't want to vote, then don't complain when it's bad out here. You know, don't complain when we have an idiot for a president. You know, don't complain because I feel like this. Yeah, people say my vote don't count. You know, they're not counting my vote, but I find that hard to believe because they actually have a statistic that came out that said, oh man, what was it, Jared? Oh, sorry, Jay Stokes. What was it like? There was a lot of people who did not vote. I know. That's all right. Come on, everybody know who we are. It was a large amount of people that did not come out and vote in the 2016 election. So they actually have statistics on who's voting, who's not voting. So I feel like for people who are using that excuse, I'm not voting because my vote don't count, or I'm not voting because I don't see anything happen in my community, well, that's when you need to vote in your local elections. Right or wrong?
Okay.
If you vote in your local elections, because don't forget, the same people that you're voting for in your local elections, they're going to the Senate and they're passing laws. So now, and once again, this is the thing. If you vote for Joe Schmo, just throwing out a name, and he has 2 years to get it right, and you're on him or her, telling them about your complaints, and for some reason they're not listening, in 2 years, you vote them out and get someone else. So I feel like we need to start somewhere. We can't allow the powers that, no, sorry, not the powers that be. We can't allow people that we see, because I follow someone on Instagram. I'm not going to say his name because I have nothing against his views, but I have a problem with the fact that he didn't vote, and it seemed like he told other people not to vote. And I have a problem with that. I'm like, yes, because I feel like if you don't want to vote, fine, don't vote, but don't tell. Words are powerful, and a lot of people that have the mic have a lot of people attention. They need to be careful of words that come out of their mouth, because that person probably was on the fence about voting and not voting. But once they see, oh, XYZ is not voting, well, then I'm not going to vote. Okay, great. But like I said again, when things don't go your way or your community is a hellhole, or your potholes aren't being fixed because this guy isn't doing what doing your community right, don't forget you voted for him, meaning you didn't vote. So if you didn't vote, someone else voted for him. So at the end of the day, it's your fault. So I believe, even if I don't like the candidate, then vote independent. Or how about you? How about this? How about you run? How about that? If you don't like what's going on,
okay.
If you don't like what's going on, then you run.
Now I'm gonna jump in right here. Now,
what's up?
That last point you made was very good. That was a very good point you made right there. So, first,
time out. Everything else I said wasn't good? I was messing with you.
No, I'm about to pick it apart. I'm about to pick it apart. I just thought I'd jump in right there. So, hey, for those of you out there listening, if you want to join in on the conversation of voting, whether people should vote or shouldn't vote, definitely give us a call at 646-668-8398. This is AVIOT, Atypical Voices in Our Time, the official podcast of Chemistry Productions, that's spelled K3MISTRY, a media education company. I got that spiel down packed. Okay, anyways.
Yes, you do.
So addressing your first point. My thing is, what if somebody voted and they always vote, but they still don't get their issues solved? For example, I know a lot of people were disheartened at the Obama administration. A lot of black people came out and voted for President Obama, but if you look at the black condition, I'm speaking about black people specifically here, if you look at the black condition under the Obama administration, it didn't improve. Employment actually didn't improve. I think it stayed the same. A lot of people were killed during the Obama administration, which we saw on tape. A lot of black people killed. And what was questionable about what President Obama did, I questioned, he actually signed a law protecting police officers during this time where a lot of black people were getting killed. And I felt that was very odd to me. I was like, why don't you try and pass a law or something that says police officers should go to jail? Like, I know it's not as easy as I'm saying right now, but something along the lines of that. I know he did something with the body cameras, but it's funny that a lot of times you see these body cameras would be turned off when a police officer would kill a black individual. So it's like, how effective were the body cameras really? But with that being said, that's why I kind of understand if people choose not to vote. But you brought up another good point where you were saying that why don't people run themselves, or why don't people vote for another person like an independent? I think that definitely has some weight to it. However, the way the system is set up in America, the only parties that really win are Democrat and Republican. Once in a while, you might see somebody from the Green Party win, but they're not going to win the presidency. They might win like a local election or something like that, but they're not going to win.
Well, that's what we care about, though.
Yeah, the local election. But the same person that you're actually talking about, and this is not me defending him, but I listen, the same person you're talking about in terms of had influence over telling people not to vote, he actually supports local elections. He actually was saying that, yeah, local elections aren't the problem. It's the Senate and House elections and the presidency that is more of the problem. But he actually supports local elections. And I definitely am with you in terms of local elections are important. Or maybe just start your own party. If you're fed up as a community, start your own party. And plus, I think we've gotten to a point where we put too much faith in our politicians, and people forget to try and do the work themselves. Like we're thinking that if we vote for this person, then automatically our condition is going to change. But why not, as a community, work together and try like police yourselves? And what I mean by police yourselves, look out for your neighbor, and maybe start a community gardening program if you have one. try to educate your kids, like stuff like that. I know it's easier said than done, but just try and do things that can help your community's condition rather than depending on a politician who's primarily driven by money. Because if you notice, politicians are always asking for money, and a politician doesn't do well unless they have a lot of money in the bank.
I agree. You know what? I agree. And that's what happened to Gannon. Guy, when I say this man had this guy didn't have any money. That's the reason why he didn't make it past go. He didn't have any money.
Keep on bringing this dude back, man. Yo, Gannon, man. Gannon ain't getting no what do you call it, ease today.
No. Gannon ran out of money quick. Yo, it was so bad, right? It was so bad. Gannon told Ned Lamont to basically don't use all your money. Like let's have a cap. Like let's go. Like don't go over 500,000 type argument. Like, dude, just because you don't have any money, I don't mean I gotta stoop to your level and do this the broke way. So you're right. They need money. He didn't get any money because no one. I mean, come on, man. Just stick to listen. Just stick to being Bridgeport mayor, and when it's time to vote you out, I'll be there voting you out. I'm voting for independent. I will not vote for you, but I will always vote. So yeah, you're right. Yeah. Continue.
But another the results of the election definitely impacted one particular person pretty hard, and he's actually a pretty famous individual, and that's President Donald Trump. President Trump was giving a speech, or he was answering questions in the East Wing of the White House.
Yes.
And that didn't go too well. Actually, I have a recording. Yes, I'm doing better every show, Jay Random. I actually have a recording on how one of his interactions with a CNN reporter went. You mind if I play it?
Wait a minute. Wait, it all depends how long, because that was pretty long. Did you edit it?
Oh, no. It's short. I edited it. Yeah.
Short like in what?
All right.
How long short?
Like 30 seconds.
Okay, got it. Let's go. Let's get it.
All right.
That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings would be much
if
better.
If I may ask one other question, Mr. President, if I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's
Mr.
enough.
President, I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr.
Excuse
President,
me. That's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question,
let's
if
go.
I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have?
I'm not concerned about anything with
you
the
may have
Russian
indictments coming
investigation
down.
because it's a hoax.
Are you?
That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation? Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
So that was
How old is he?
CNN's Jim Acosta. Trump, I think, what, 64? Something like that?
No. I'm only joking because he's like a little 2-year-old talking about, I don't like what you said about me. You saw how the lady took the microphone away from him?
No, 72.
Snatched
I was way off. 72.
72, yes.
But that's
listen.
CNN's Jim Acosta that was talking to President Trump. And, yeah, the lady with the microphone actually wanted to get into that. Okay, so you want to address that part first, or do you want to do the reporter and Trump's exchange first?
The reporter and Trump exchange.
Okay, so what did you think about that? I know it seemed like President Trump was throwing a little tantrum, but having his position as the president, do you think that was right of the reporter to keep coming at him like that when he was like, that's enough? Like, what do you think?
Well, so I feel like this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like no one has respect for each other. I feel like if President Trump was arrogant before he became president, he is 10 times more arrogant now. And he thinks that he can say what he wants to say and no one will say anything back. Now, meaning, I can bash you and call you all types of names, but now drop the mic. I don't want to talk to you no more. And it's like, no, you said something to me, no, you can't talk to me any type of way. So I think
I see where you're coming from.
the difference,
Okay.
yes, I think the difference is no one respects each other. CNN doesn't respect the president. The president does not respect CNN. So I think you're going to see that a lot. Or what we may see is the president now not allow CNN to come into the White House. Because Fox will never do that. And that's the sad part. Fox is such a puppet for the president that they would never do that. But first of all, they won't even ask a hard question. We already know. So
True.
I think that exchange was uncomfortable. Hate to throw a race in it, but I don't think it would have went the same way if I was a black person. A black person probably lost their job. I do believe. I don't know. I just feel like okay, excuse me for anyone that feels the type of way, but I always feel like white on white arguments is tolerable. It's tolerated. It's tolerated. Okay. It's tolerated, because you gotta understand. First of all, I feel like this. As a black man, majority of times, no, not majority. A majority of black men have deep voices. So you and I, we're talking, right?
Except for me.
If you and I,
I can make my voice deep if I want to.
So just imagine a black person talking to the president, and he's talking the same way, but his voice has to get louder now. His voice is louder. And then people will lose their mind. I really believe people would have lost their mind if that was a black person talking to the president like that. I hate to throw a race in it, but it is what it is. So back to the two of them, I think it was really uncomfortable. And I think the president has to understand that he can't say what he wants to say to anyone in respect for that person to not react, especially if they don't respect you. And that is right. And the way that reporter was talking to him, that was a sign of whatever. Like, what are you going to do? Like, wow. So now the president's like, wait, what do you mean what I'm going to do? I'm the president. He's like, so? So it was kind of like they were both like, they're both like pounding their chests. Like the president thought he could say, shut up, sit down, take the mic, and that was it. And the person would cow down, like, okay, the president told you to be quiet. But the guy was like, no, you're not going to talk to me anyway. And prime example, if you remember last year, oh man, it was an incident with the president and that there's a famous black reporter, and it was totally different. Like, she was trying to get her words out, and he was just basically like shutting her down, and it was definitely different than today. Today, I was kind of taken aback, like, wow, guy, you're talking to the president? Like, that's, whoa, what is going on here? Because that never happened. That never happened with Barack. I barely remember it happening with Bush. So it seemed like everybody's just like, hey, listen, you're not going to say what you want to say to me, because if you say anything wrong, I'm going to defend myself. And the president doesn't like how that is. He doesn't like that reaction. He thinks he could say what he wants to say, and that's it. No, end of the story. And it's not the case. You're not on TV. You're not going to talk to me anyway. So why? What do you think?
Oh, no, I agree with what you said pretty much. I think both parties are just disrespecting each other because you got on one end you got someone saying, man, I don't care about you, president. I'm gonna talk outside my mouth. I don't care about the title you hold. And then the president is saying, man, you're a peasant. I'm the president. So you got two people going back and forth. But within this exchange, going back to your point where you said earlier, the woman, one of the president's aides, was trying to take the mic from the CNN reporter, Jim Acosta, and he was like, ma'am, I don't know, for those of you listening out there, I don't know if you heard that part. He was like, ma'am, because the woman tried to grab the mic from him, and he took it back. And I was like, the first thing that popped into my head, I was like, me too. Like, that's the first
Yeah, no.
I hate to say so. That was the first thing that popped into my head. I was like, is this a Me Too moment right here? Like, can they use that? Like, because it's come to a point right now.
Yeah,
and this
but he did a
me
good
trying to
job
get
because
all
he
the
didn't snatch the mic. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
sorry
right,
about that.
right. Yeah, and this is not me trying to get on the Me Too movement, but it seems like the Me Too movement, it's gotten to a point where we don't know what it actually is about, just because you have so many incidents occurring, so many people being called out for things as simple as giving a compliment. Then it's like, oh, that's harassment. I just gave you a compliment. Well, I felt uncomfortable, but it's a compliment. So you got those situations. So when you see a woman trying to grab a mic from a man and the man refuses to give it to her, even though he was polite, I'm still thinking in the back of my head, that could be a moment that could be taken the wrong way by some women. They could think it's the patriarchy, that he isn't conceding to a woman, or that he's trying to exert his male dominance over this woman. And I'm surprised no one's talked about it. I hope they don't, because I just saw it as a CNN reporter that was trying to get his voice heard and was trying to make a point. And this aide, she was just trying to do her job, but she didn't want to fight with him and allowed him to finish his point. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, but also I think the reason why it was ignored because the president didn't say anything. Now, if the president was really trying to be a jerk, he would be like, hey, why are you going to disrespect that lady? If he was on his game, he could have really changed it. Think about it. Only thing what I took taken was for someone in that audience to be like, don't do that to her. Boom. That CNN reporter may be in trouble. But now you say it's like, who cares?
Yeah, and just to diverge real fast, I do think that in this society, we have had a culture where women have had their voices silenced and they've been assaulted and they've been treated unfairly. But we have to be careful not to – I feel like it does women a disservice when we keep saying, oh, she didn't have any other choice, or that she's always the victim, because I don't want it to get to a point where we're painting women as these docile, innocent, timid creatures. And I say creatures because that's how it seems like media and society is painting women to be. Like, women, you have a voice. Women, you are strong. You are durable. And you have definitely held it down in the family sense. You've held it down in the factories. When men went off to war in World Wars I and II, Black women specifically, you've held it down way more than anybody else. Like, you held it down during slavery. So, and that was
exactly.
one of the
I agree.
Experiences, if not the worst experience in human history. So I'm like, yeah, I just don't want it to get to a point where we're painting women as these timid, docile creatures, because that's not the point. They're strong humans. They're strong humans that just happen to be another gender. The end.
Perfect. Drop the mic on that. Oh, my gosh. That was
Drop
great.
the mic.
Ooh,
Drop the mic.
end. Son, there you go. Yo, listen. So anybody want to call in? The number is 646-668-8398. Give us a call. Listen, don't worry. We won't bite your head off. We would like to hear your thoughts about the topics that we spoke about so far. And once again, I wish we had a voicemail, because I would love to hear what I bet you Jay Stokes, I think people would probably call in if we had a voicemail. I think they will.
They could always leave a comment on our YouTube channel. For everybody out there, just so you know, every episode we record on here goes on our YouTube channel at Chemistry Productions. That's K3MISTRY Productions. We have a YouTube channel. If you type that in YouTube, you'll see like a blue hand with a purple heart and a little music note. And, we upload all these episodes on there. So we don't have a voicemail, Jay Random, but they can leave comments underneath the episodes. And if they did leave comments, we would address them either on the show or on the YouTube channel. Definitely check that out if you are too afraid to call in, or if you're catching this show at a late time. But I wanted to actually go into, with the election, I wanted to go into some of the candidates and what happened. So, they're running in Texas. I think was it for a governor? No, for the Senate seat between O'Rourke and Cruz.
Yes, Senate seat. You're right.
Was that
yes.
The Senate seat? Yes, O'Rourke. So O'Rourke. I hope I'm saying it correctly. He was making a lot of
O'Rourke.
yeah, you can say the name. He was making a lot of nice speeches, and he was saying a lot of feel good things for people, and he seemed like a genuine guy. He seemed pretty cool, but Ted Cruz still ended up winning in Texas, and these results were very interesting to me. Okay, 59% of white women voted for Ted Cruz. This is the same guy that was away these reproductive choices and options for women. You know what I mean? So it's like you're voting against your best interest. You're voting for somebody who's not supporting your reproductive rights.
I know.
How does that make sense? 59% of white women voted for this dude?
Dude, yo, it's crazy.
And 34% of Latino women.
Listen, I don't understand. You know, this is the thing I dislike, Jay Stokes. I mean, no, I do too. I mean, I understand too. But it's the thing I dislike, Jay Stokes. I hate those who act like they're angry, act like they're hurt, act like they're ashamed, and then when it's time to vote, they forget about all of it and vote for the person and vote for the person that they're ashamed of. I can't believe it.
Yep.
Who's this guy? Blah 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 blah. You know, yada yada yada, and they still vote for the idiot. So it's like, come on, like, stop it. You are who you are. It's okay. Yes, this person shares your same view.
This is my thing. At the end of the day, I really think people vote based off of their race. I truly think race is the more salient factor here, and that's why I try to get through to people. Like, you see a lot of I've seen, and I have to make this personal. I see in the black community, you see a lot of division, and I made an episode on this. I definitely encourage everybody to look at our Chemistry Productions YouTube channel, because I did an episode on ruining your faves, which is a segment that we have on the YouTube channel talking about this. It was a Black Panther episode, so just look for the second Black Panther one. But anyway, so I did a segment where I was talking about division in the black community, between like light and dark skin, between gay and straight, between men and women, young and old. And I keep trying to hammer into people's heads, no matter who you identify with or associate with. If you're a Christian and you identify with Christians and you're black, if you're gay and you identify with the gay community and you're black, if you're a woman and you identify with the womanhood or feminism and you're black, you have to understand, people aren't looking at the extracurriculars. They see black first when they see you. They see black first. So when you look at these elections right here and you see these white women or Latino women, white men, Latino men, other races voting for candidates that are harmful or that are negative, you have to understand they're voting for their race even when it harms them. The fact that 59% of white women voted for Ted Cruz, 59%, that is crazy.
That is crazy.
That is crazy.
No. You know, also the crazy part is, after, with all of his, for everything that he promoted in this run, a lot of Mexicans voted for him too.
That too. I know.
I'm like, what is going on here? Like, what is going on here? I couldn't believe when Mexicans voted for Trump. I don't get it, man.
I'll tell you one.
But you know what though?
What's up?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
no. All that I was going to say was
Oh,
this delay is horrible. For anyone, listen,
I know.
Real quick, for anyone that wonder why Jay Stokes and I sometimes talk over each other, there's a delay that you guys don't hear, but we hear. So when you hear that pause, we're actually trying to wait for the next one to actually jump in. So basically, all that I was going to say was, so I was listening to a radio show, right? And the host said something smart. He said something that made sense. He was basically saying that the Mexicans that are voting for Ted Cruz or like a Donald Trump, in their mind, they're voting for those who took a shortcut to get to where they're at. Meaning, I paid my dues, I paid my taxes, I came over here legal. The legal way. So for those that climbing over the walls or coming over here illegally, the shame on you. You didn't do it the way I did it, so I want you out of here. But at the end of the day, who do you want out of here? Your same kind. So that's the
true.
up and
well, they don't see
so
it as the same kind.
That's the sad part. So I think that's why those who are voting against their own kind believe that they're not their own kind anymore. Like their own kind didn't do what they did to get here. So you're not me. You're not me. No, you're not me. Look at you. You're illegal. I'm legal. Come on, dude. Seriously, stop it. It doesn't make any sense, but it's happening. And it's sad. Now, what are you gonna say? It's just sad. But what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say Andrew Gilliam in Florida. He was the black man that was running for. Now he was running for governor or Senate. No, governor, right? Governor. Okay, Andrew Gilliam.
Yeah,
okay.
governor. It was governor. Yes.
Well, in his race, 46% of Latino men voted for the Republican candidate DeSantis, and 38% of Latina women voted for DeSantis. So I'm like, wow, that's a huge percentage. Like in Florida, of all places.
Of all places. And hey, real quick though, the guy that he was running against, his last name. What's his last name? Yeah.
Oh no, I think
that's probably why.
Is Italian. No, I think
Italian. Okay.
Italian. Yeah,
okay.
I was talking about my mom earlier. Yeah.
Gotcha. So my thing is this.
Ron DeSantis.
So my thing is this. At the end of the day, I think we're seeing a pattern that we're ignoring, in the simple fact that no one wants to vote for us, even if we're the better candidate. Everybody wants to vote white. And you're right. I think in their race, even though they know that they're not white, they sure aren't black. So they're like, I'm not voting for this guy. They're not even listening to what he was willing to offer them and give them and make it happen. But you know what?
Wasn't he a big supporter of the Latino community?
Yes, he was. He was.
That's crazy.
Number one. And number two, they're not going to understand until, as they say, shit hits the fan. They're like, oh, but, hey, it's too late then. You don't need 2 years to F stuff up. You only need a week, maybe a month, anything can, and they tend to forget. These people that they're electing, they're there for a while. 2 years is a while.
Yep.
4 years is a while, So don't think, oh, I elect this person, I can vote them out. Yeah, the next election. So
yeah,
I'm amazed, but I'm not surprised, and it's sad because I really believe that he could have done something different in Florida, and now we got to deal with and now they have to deal with the same old. But I'm surprised about Georgia. Like, how is this going down? Like, I think as of now they're still like, what's up?
Well, like I was, because in Georgia you're talking about
Stacey.
What's the woman's name?
Abrams.
Stacey Abrams. Yes.
Stacey Abrams. Yes.
But as I was telling my mom earlier, you gotta understand that Georgia, Atlanta, places like Atlanta that are more liberal are a small percentage. The majority of Georgia is very racist and very narrow-minded. So, good luck. Good luck trying to do anything major in Georgia. The majority of Georgia is racist.
And also, real quick, remember, the president was telling all the Republicans, if Stacey Abrams, if she gets elected, she's gonna take away your. No. Yeah. But he basically said,
people out there that don't know.
Oh, okay. The president basically said on TV, if she gets in, she's gonna take she's gonna take away your Second Amendment, and that's something you do not touch.
Oh, people love their guns.
Especially in those red states, or not even the red states, especially in Hickvilles. What you talk about?
Mm-hmm.
Listen. You can take away a lot of things, but you better not take away their Second Amendment. So once he said that, I said, oh, she's losing. This guy, our president, is so divisive. He's doing a good job of making the races come out to light. Because before they were in the dark. Now they don't care. They're out. They proud. They're proud to be racist. So he's done a good job of doing that. Sad, but hey, listen. Only we could do, Jay Stokes, in 2 years, vote for the other one. Hopefully, look. Hopefully, it's someone that's worth voting for. Because, the two evils. Who do you vote for? Because that's how I felt when it came to voting for Hillary. I was like, I don't really care for Hillary, but I prefer her over Trump. So
yeah, exactly.
I think that's what, exactly, and I think that's what other people did too. Like, I don't really care for Trump, but I don't like Hillary. So we have to have a good candidate.
Well, I will say, in 2 years that people are looking to vote a different candidate, my priority is going to be making sure that Chemistry Productions does its job in trying to educate people out there and influence minds. So we can have a voice, be influencers, like the guy you were saying on Instagram that you follow. Maybe we could get a big enough voice that we could influence people in a positive direction to do certain things or to improve their communities, right?
Yes, that sounds great. And you know what? Seriously, to be honest with you, I didn't do it this time, but I promise our listeners, I promise you, I promise myself, going forward, when it's time for the elections, when it's about to come up, I'm going to start volunteering. I'm going to start doing that. I want to do that. I want to give back to my community. And you and I, we always talk about, that's my passion now. That's my passion now. I want to start giving back to my community. And I feel like it's never too late to start a race. It's not how you start the race, it's how you finish it. So,
you're right.
To me, it's no set time on when you do it. The only time it's not a good time is when you're dead. So I'm not dead yet, so I can actually. So I'm still good.
Yeah, for now.
For now. So basically, yeah, exactly. So basically, that's what I want to do. Going forward, to start volunteering.
Let's see, little Jay tomorrow sound like that.
I know, like, spoke too soon. Guess what? I'm gonna die not volunteering.
So that pretty much wraps it up for the show. I wanted to end the show by speaking on this main thing. So Chemistry Productions is spelled K3MISTRY. We also have a music label called Conchess Records. And we have a song that we've been working on. Jay Random and I, we actually take off our microphone. We step away from the microphone and we put on our producer hats. And we have a song that's coming out pretty soon. We've been working on it. And we'll release more details on that later. But I wanted to take this time to shout out your son, DJ Scotty Beats. DJ Scotty Beats actually produced the beat for this song. And man, when this song drops, you all are in for a treat. DJ Scotty Beats did his thing. Up-and-coming producer. I want to give him all the credit out there for being a great ear, a great talent. Dude is only 15 years old, and he is killing it right now. And nobody even knows that much about him, but best believe his name is going to be out there pretty soon. You got anything to say in these last seconds, Jay Random?
Yeah, last second, I just wanted to give a shout-out to Rosita. I just got a text from you. She said, good show, Jay Random. I'm sorry, Jay Random. I'm Jay Random. Jay Stokes. So we're doing a good. So someone is listening. No one wants to call though, but I just got a text saying good show. So I'll give her a shout out. Thank you for listening. Hey, listen, Scotty Beats. That's my son. 15 years old. I love him to death. He's doing a good job, like Jay Stokes said. And hey, listen, yes, the world we're here will know his name very, very soon. Leave it up to Jay Stokes and I. So, hey, listen, everyone, thank you for listening to the show. We'll see y'all next week, Wednesday, same time, same channel. And my clock is late, so I have 31 seconds. How many seconds do you have on your side?
I got 26.
Okay, so we only off by a few seconds. All right. So, shout out to everyone who's listening. Give us a call next show, 646-668-8398. And we see y'all next week. We out. Peace.
Peace.